We'll go around the room for introductions and then ask y'all to present your event. So start with ACHD.
John Wasson, ACHD.
Debbie White, ACHD.
Conrad McDaniel, Republic Services.
Vince Vergara, City of Boise Parking.
Oh, there it goes. Sabrina Bobo, Risk and Safety.
Summer Altieri, Boise Parks and Rec. Cameo Rogers, Ada County Paramedics.
Jesse Tapper, Boise Fire.
Matthew Konvalinka, Boise Police.
Rachel Holford, City of Boise Emergency Preparedness.
Jamie Heinzerling, City Clerk's Office.
Kelly Frank, City Clerk's Office.
Andrew Parrott, Boise Open.
Lucas Fox, Boise Open.
David Babcock, Albertson's Boise Open, presented by Chevron.
Jim Borchers, Boise Open.
All right. Thanks. Thanks so much. And we don't have any of our committee members online today, so we'll just go around the table when it comes to questions. Did you all bring a presentation with you?
We did. Hopefully I can just click
Fantastic.
forward and it'll appear magically. There it is. Might be hard to read some of the small type on here, but you obviously have a copy of it, so you can peruse it at your leisure. So this is the 34th annual Albertsons Boise Open. And we have grown it over the years. And along with growing the event, we've extended our charitable giving. So we're very excited about the direction we've gone with the event in the past couple of years and want to continue that. Really appreciate our relationship with you all and trying to do our very best to accommodate and abide by, you know, how the city operates and everything that you all do in your respective areas. There's just a few changes to this year I can touch on. I don't think we need to go through every slide in detail with, you know, the structures here, but I can point out all the new things we're doing and then we can focus, you know, on the areas of concern from last year. Which, you know, were really the traffic, the parking, our egress. I think we made some really good strides in improving those from 2022 or 2021 to 2022. And again, we're always looking to improve. You know, our motto is pleased but not satisfied. So I think we made some additional changes for 2023 that I'll touch on that will really help the event and help primarily in the area of safety and security and, you know, parking, et cetera, et cetera. So, and also the fan experience, which I'll get into a little bit, but the schedule of events, again, we don't need to go through day by day on this, I don't think. Obviously, if anyone has any questions at all, jump in, but really the biggest changes we made from 2022 to 2023 is moving some of our events indoors. During COVID, when we first came back in 2021, I think was our first, you know, completely like non-COVID event. We had our functions for sponsors and guests outside, including a business meeting and things that you'd normally be doing indoors. We did outdoors for safety reasons, right? Health reasons. So this year, and it's just obviously, as we know, it's quite hot in August, can be a little toasty. So the feedback that we got was, you know, great event, it's wonderful, but it's 105 degrees and we're standing outside in the sun. So what we've done is we've moved our Monday after golf event up to a different venue closer to the clubhouse so people can go inside and cool down. We obviously don't want anyone suffering from heat stroke. And then Tuesday, we are doing our business meeting in the morning and the official Pro-Am dinner, the big gala dinner that night at Boise Center, which we've done, you know, prior to 2020, we've been going there for, you know, 25 years or as long as it's been there. So going back to what we've done in the past, and again, getting everyone inside will really help, you know, because they're out playing golf Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday too. So just trying to reduce the amount of time they're outside. And then Wednesday after golf at Hillcrest, again, that function will be up closer to the clubhouse so people can go inside and cool down. As far as the schedule of events go, that's really the biggest change. The timing on everything is really the same as it's been in past years and definitely last year. So, we're the week of August 21st to 27th. And yeah, I mean, really, that's I think that's all the pertinent information on the schedule of events, unless anyone has any questions on that. All righty. Oh, I have to read this from here. Oh, this is like an eye test. So the traffic plan, we are partnering with Boise Town Square. We have a deal with them and they're very excited to have our offsite parking there. We went out and met with them yesterday, looked at the space, walked through the whole plan. And we think that's going to be I think it's really going to be great for our spectators and all the offsite parking. We were at Boise State the last couple of years, but since our event moved back a week, all classes are in session. So that Brady Street Garage isn't available to us. But this, the Boise Town Square will work really well for us. I think we've used Caldwell Transportation, to do all of our shuttling. And it's a very simple route, round trip down Cole and Overland. So that was a good deal for us because otherwise we didn't have a place to park because the airport, as we know, is under construction still. What else? Yeah, we can get into the details on, and Jim can address this too, but the traffic and parking plan around the golf course, we'll get to later in the slides. As far as alcohol sales go, again, Hillcrest Country Club has the liquor license, will be the only vendor selling alcohol on site. Our security team will be led by David Soller once again, and then using MAV staffing locally. And we have increased our numbers a little bit, also reallocated people at certain times of day just to be in the right areas at the right time. There's no need to guard the clubhouse at midnight when it's all locked up. And then as far as Boise Police goes, our thought is it worked great last year with what we had. We want to work closely with you guys with exactly where, we'd like you to be at certain times. But I think, from our perspective, I think the same numbers would be perfect for us. So we'd like to go with that. We can get into that later if you want or whatever. And then medical support, we have St. Alphonsus volunteering on first aid all day, every day. We also have acute rescue EMTs there all day, every day. This year we added 3 more EMTs with packs, so they're mobile. We also provide them a golf cart. Acute rescue has a golf cart. We have an ambulance on site. And so that's an improvement on the EMT side of things. We had 2 incidents last year, I think, 2 calls, 3 calls, I think, but 2 were the same person. So I think increasing the EMTs and also moving the ambulance down below during the concert and then back up top afterwards, just again, to keep all of our resources where the people are when they're there, will help tremendously too. So I think we're in a great spot on the medical support side of things. Any questions on any of this stuff here? Okay. Again, you're not going to be able to really drill down on this, but this is the course layout and egress plan. Really, the one thing that we did in 2022 on the egress of all the fans after the concert, which really helped, was to bring them up into the parking lot and have them turn left and loop around and load the buses that way. I mean, we've got everybody out, whatever it was, 6,000 people or so, we got out in 41 minutes or something like that. So that plan worked well. We want to continue with that plan. Again, we want to have security positioned in appropriate spots. during the egress. But that's worked very well. And then on the course, we, as far as the build goes and all the structures, we have the same number of structures as last year with 2 additions. I think I mentioned before, one on 10 green and one on 16 green. Open to the public, but we'll do, add those to our inspections and all that. Everything else is a repeat of last year build wise. That's the layout, concert egress. Then entry during the day, we'll have the Caldwell Transportation buses come up Country Club Drive, turn on to Hillcrest and drop people right by the pool there. Then they walk back into the main entrance there where the blue box is. And this works really well. It keeps that. We originally used to drop them off right at the entrance. And the issue with that is it just creates a log jam right there. So by taking them past the entrance and dropping them off on the street and having them walk back on the sidewalk, just kind of makes the flow in much better. And there's none of the log jams. Because as people come, a lot of people will come just for the concert and not for the golf all day. So we get a rush from like 5 o'clock to
4:30 to 6:30 is
Yeah.
a big time.
So we want to eliminate lines and backups and all that, just efficiently get people in and out. So this helps a lot on that ingress part of things. Front 9 layout, there's not much to talk about here. There's not a whole lot going on this 9 holes. We have very few spectators go out on this 9. The entire event is really centered around the 16th, 17th, and 18th holes. That's where everybody goes. So that's where we accommodate everybody with all of our structures. So these are the structured layouts on the back 9. Again, when you look at this, if you want to look at this more closely, you'll notice on the 10th green, there is a new structure there on the left side, and then a new structure on 16 on the right front. So. Oops, did I do that?
Oh, she did.
Yeah, that's great. So that the cursor's on 10, the cursor's on 16 now. So there's a new structure on the right side as you're facing the green on 16, and then on 10, that blue box behind the green is new. The parking layout is unchanged from 2022. Again, works well. We've got, how many volunteers do we have on the parking side of things with Joe and his people?
55.
Yeah, so we got a lot of parking volunteers. They've been doing it for a lot of years. They're very good about parking cars appropriately, properly. We get as few complaints as we possibly could, I think, on the parking. There's always a few. And we always try to make it right with whoever's complaining around the neighborhood. But that's our parking plan there. Just FYI, this is the main clubhouse parking. It's reserved primarily for the PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour players. And then across the street, this is the Lot B, we call it, and it's overflow plus some other VIPs get to park in this lot on Pond and Hillcrest. So the no parking signs, and Jimmy, you jump in here wherever you want, but this is our map of where we're going to have the no parking signs. In addition, I added the list of all the signage that we intend to include with our rerouting of the traffic.
Yeah, and last year we had a couple of people on the west side of Orchard call, and that's where that single line going to the left is. Because of the concert, we're getting a few more people parking over in that area and walking across. We'll probably put a few more no parking signs deeper into that area. John Wasson has confirmed that we'll have the no parking ACHD signs again this year. And we should have sufficient to put a few more on that side to protect a few of those residents on that side. However, we have done this now for all 34 years, and we've had people parking over in that area for the entire 34 years. We just heard from one last year, and we take that seriously, and we'll go over and see if we can't help her as best we can.
Okay, any questions about the parking? At this point? Our signage?
ACHD does a great job keeping us in line.
These are the road closures and one-way traffic that we intend to do. Again, it's a rinse and repeat from past years. So you can see that the red would be closed during the week with signage and staffing accordingly at those closures. The turn points there on Country Club and Hillcrest and Roosevelt. The green roads would be for Uber Lyft after 5 o'clock. Again, when we have sort of the rush of people, we like to not mix the Uber with the shuttle buses. Just again, in the interest of keeping things running smoothly. And that's worked very well in the past. Again, we have our staff out there helping direct the Ubers and direct the people to the Ubers and Lyfts and ride share. So this has worked quite well.
On that, we did make a request to fire. I talked to the deputy director, deputy chief, and wondered if there is any ability to do any geo fencing. If the answer is no, that's fine. But I didn't get a call back from him. Again, if the answer is no, that's no big deal. We manage Uber and Lyft with signage right now, and it works relatively well. That was just a question on our side.
Sorry, I can answer that. So the geofencing we support is for scooters and stuff like that, not for Uber and Lyft. Unfortunately, we don't have contacts with them. They have a separate way that they operate, but I did receive that message and I apologize. I did respond back to him. So I apologize. You didn't get that message.
I'll get with Hervé and I'll twist him up. Then. Okay, thank you.
And here's a more detailed map of how the Uber and Lyft rideshare ingress and egress works. Again, we got these people roll out in the same amount of time as the shuttles, you know, and
Yeah, the big change here from a couple years ago is we now utilize Hillcrest Grade School during the concert time. So instead of having Uber and Lyft trying to come anywhere near the clubhouse or on our closed streets, they have complete access to Hillcrest Grade School in egress and ingress. And we send all of the Uber and Lyft clients to that location so that they can sort themselves out there. We're not trying to sort them out while we're loading the masses in the buses and getting them off the site. And that last year worked out extremely well. We finally got Uber and Lyft kind of tuned in, and hopefully that we'll get that tuned in again this year, but that was a big plus for us.
And how are you all handling ADA access and parking?
We let them come in as far as we can park them, and we typically have sites or parking spots in Lot B or in Lot A. What happens is if I'm coming to the concert, all of the players have typically gone out of Lot A. And so we let the handicap and ADA come in and we load them there.
Thank you.
yeah, that's worked well. I mean, having them park on site, and we'll always find a space for them, you know, that's worked well versus having them try to get on the shuttles. We're trying to find enough ADA shuttles. I think that's it. The other thing I wanted to just touch on that we're adding to as far as the ecology goes, I'm going to work with you, Conrad, on getting an additional 30-yard container And I submitted that with my permit for ACHD to have it on Roosevelt, next to between the road and the golf course. There's a gravel shoulder there, and that'll help. We're going to make a concerted effort this year to not overflow the containers. And we've got a great volunteer team that helps us with recycling. And so that was something I just wanted to bring up as a minor change that we're doing this year.
Great. All right, let's go around the room. John, Debbie, you want to start?
John Wasson, ACHD. Always a great event. And it does a whole lot for the community, and we appreciate it. It should come as no surprise. We've been ratcheting down on everybody for traffic control plans. And at this point in time, we would not require a formal traffic control plan for this year, but going forward, we probably ought to have a more formalized traffic control plan. You guys can still do the implementation as you've done in the past, but we ought to have one from a traffic control company that just delineates things a little more formally. And for this year, what I'd like to do is work with Jim and establish the exact locations on the map for traffic control points and what they're going to look like, how they're going to be staffed, things like that, so that we've got something in our files that show that we're moving towards where we've moved everybody else for special events, which is a formal traffic control plan. Okay, Debbie, you got anything?
Good morning, David. Thank you for working with me over the years and this year in particular. Great communication. I appreciate that. I'm going to start with Ed Graves since he's not here. Public Works. Have you been in contact with Ed Graves over the trash and recycling diversion effort?
No.
Okay. I'm going to connect you two, and
Okay.
he has strategies to help your volunteers divert waste and divert it properly. And it'll just help you be more successful in that sustainability area.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. We have most everything figured out to this point. We got to finalize the last roll off there for recycling. I'm not concerned about that. I do want to remind you that our guys run very tight schedules, and well, this event's pretty big and requires a lot. If we could just make sure those dumpsters are clear in the morning so we can have access, because we don't have time to call, say, hey, please move the block car, please do this or that. We need to be able to get in, get out. If something's blocked, chances are we're going to leave it for the day.
For sure. Okay. Understood.
Finally, event boxes. Last year you had planned on bringing your own. There's logistics complications, and that happens. I get that. That's my world. What's the plan this year?
We did receive our boxes after the event. So those have been stored and ready to go for this year. So I think we have enough right at this point.
Yeah, assuming we don't have some massive rainstorm or anything and they get disintegrated, but
Okay.
yeah. we
And
should have more than that.
our inventory is good this year. So if something does happen, just let me know. You know, last minute's always hard. So if you can foresee a shortage or a need for extra, just give me a couple days and we'll help you out.
That's great. Yeah, we've got this pod, so we can just double check on them. Yeah. And that I think will also help in that they are, they're custom, and they say recycling on one and trash on the other. Due to whatever, like you said, no one's fault other than the shipping company. They were all just the same box, and that hurt us in the, delineation last year a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that. Okay, well, yeah, we'll just remain in touch and I'll put you in contact with Ed Graves, and
That'd be great.
it'll be great this year. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
David, thank you for taking my phone calls and explaining the layout of the event. We don't have anything for you with Boise City Parking. Thank you.
On the Boise Center, the dinner at Boise Center, are you planning anything on the plaza
No.
at all? Okay, nothing on the plaza. Okay.
all indoor.
And then other than that, just your certificate of insurance, you know, if that's been sent.
Yeah, I submitted it.
Okay, okay, we'll take a look.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if you don't need it, let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing from Parks. I really like your medical plan this year, adding people and moving the ambulance to where the locations are with the majority of the personnel. So I don't have any questions. Thank you.
I don't have much to say either, guys. Thank you for that presentation. Just, special events permit through the fire department. You already know about the structural engineer requirements for any structure over greater than 400 square feet. And I like the fire access plan. So thank you.
We do have one update for you, and that is we'd like to have the both patrol from PD and the fire who may be responding. We'd like to have you drive that access off of Roosevelt
Okay.
with us prior to the event.
Yeah, we can do that.
And we're going to put up a sign that says emergency vehicle access so that when the unit drives up, they know where to turn in.
Okay. Yeah, I can talk to operations and we could set that up. We usually have them drive your event anyway
Yeah.
before it starts. So we'll get somebody out there.
Okay,
Thanks.
Nope, Boise Police, we're all good. We received your staffing proposal, same as last year. We should be able to fill that with all the events going on, but yeah, I don't see any issues at this point. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good morning. First of all, thank you so much for all the proactive work you guys have done. We've already had our safety and security meeting with them. We already have our walkthrough scheduled. We are way ahead on the schedule and we greatly appreciate that, especially since we do have all those overlapping events going on. Again, want to echo what Cameo said. Thank you so much for picking up that medical stuff and running with it and increasing that. Also working with PD and increasing those levels. Whatever goes on that weekend, it's going to be very tight for the resources. So what you have is probably what you're going to get. The only thing that we had from our meeting was just making sure we have an updated schedule from you. So we have that entirety of the list. Outside of that, we are good to go. So thanks again.
Okay, thank you.
From the clerk's office perspective, I just need your vendor list for any, I know that Hillcrest is doing the alcohol service, but are you guys bringing in any food trucks, trailers, anything like that for the concerts?
No food trucks. Albertsons does like a pop-up kitchen.
Okay,
Or restaurant.
yeah,
And then we have a caterer. We are using Open Table
okay,
for some other catering, just on the food side of things. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we have a lot of other vendors, United Site Services, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera.
sure.
But do you need just the vendor list of?
the food and beverage is
beverage?
what, yeah, we were looking for.
Okay, it's really Open Table,
Okay.
Albertsons and Hillcrest.
Okay, and the health
That's it.
department did email me this morning. They weren't able to make it, but they did say that they had heard from you, so that was good there. And then the clerk's office just verifies for the city of Boise licensing as well.
Okay.
And then you can send that to the special events email. I did verify that the insurance is uploaded and I will get this presentation uploaded for the team to have access as well. So if that is the most current schedule,
Yeah.
then we'll make that available to everyone, but feel free to send anything to special events at cityofboise.org and then it gets uploaded to the portal
Awesome.
for
Great, yeah.
easier access. So, but anything else you need, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Easy peasy. Thanks so much, you guys.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, that was our event for today. I just wanted to check in quickly. It looks like we've still got some signups for 4th of July events, which are right around the corner. Is there anything folks are waiting on from the event organizers that Kelly could help track down?
We have everything for the Idaho 4th of July parade except payment. And I've reached out to Mike a couple of times, but that's the only thing before we can release the traffic control plan.
Okay.
Of course, we got to have that.
We're still working on some permitting issues with the 4th of July parade. Talked with them yesterday. They should be wrapping it up today, hopefully.
I thought I had the pancake feed on the list. I apologize. It was in draft form this morning and I thought I rectified that, but the pancake feed, is everyone pretty good on that? I did email last week checking in. More so than the fact that you're just going and eating pancakes, you're good with it. Okay.
On the parade, I will say they've reached out in a couple phone calls and they do have some items. We've asked them to send it over to the special events email, so we all have it. So there's a couple items that we can check off, but I want to make sure it's in Kelly's hands before we sign off on it.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, we are adjourned. See y'all in a couple weeks. Happy 4th of July.